Imagine you're flying over the Atlantic Ocean. The weather is perfect. The sky is clear. Your aircraft is working exactly as it should. The engines sound normal. The compass points north. The radio is alive with voices. Everything feels ordinary. Then, without warning, the compass begins spinning. Your GPS loses its signal. The radio goes silent. The ocean below looks exactly the same, but something has changed. You try calling for help. Nothing. You check every instrument. Nothing makes sense. Within minutes, your aircraft disappears from radar. No distress call, no explosion, no wreckage, just silence. Now imagine this wasn't a movie. This has happened before, more than once. Welcome to one of the most mysterious places on Earth. A place where ships have vanished, aircraft have disappeared, compasses have behaved strangely, and countless theories have been created to explain the impossible. People call it the Bermuda Triangle. But what if we've been asking the wrong question all along? Maybe the mystery isn't why things disappear. Maybe the real mystery is why we still don't know exactly what happened. For decades, the Bermuda Triangle has captured the world's imagination. Books have been written about it. Movies have been inspired by it. Television documentaries have called it a deadly curse. Some people believe it's connected to aliens. Others blame ancient civilizations. Some even claim the ocean itself hides a force that modern science cannot explain. But before we chase the myths, we need to understand the place itself, because the truth begins with geography. The Bermuda Triangle isn't marked on any official world map. No government recognizes it as a real danger zone. There are no warning signs floating in the Atlantic Ocean. No invisible walls, no secret border. It's simply an area of water roughly connected by three famous locations: Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. Together, they create a giant triangle covering hundreds of thousands of square miles. At first glance, it looks no different from any other part of the Atlantic. Blue water, open skies, busy shipping routes. Every single day, cargo ships pass through it, cruise ships sail across it, and commercial airplanes fly above it. Most reach their destination without a single problem. So why does this place have such a terrifying reputation? The answer begins more than 70 years ago. One afternoon, 5 American military aircraft took off from Florida for what should have been a routine training mission. The pilots were experienced, the weather was considered acceptable. The flight plan was simple: fly east, turn north, then return home. Nothing unusual, nothing dangerous, just another day in the sky. But a few hours later, something strange happened. The flight leader radioed back with words that would become legendary. He reportedly said they couldn't recognize where they were. Even stranger, their compasses no longer seemed reliable. Imagine being thousands of feet above the ocean with no landmarks, and the one instrument designed to guide you suddenly stops making sense. Confusion spread through the radio. The pilots began questioning each other. Some believed they were flying in the wrong direction. Others thought they were completely lost. Every minute, fuel was running lower. The control tower tried to guide them home, but communication became increasingly difficult. Then the voices disappeared completely. The 5 aircraft, known today as Flight 19, were never seen again. No confirmed wreckage, no confirmed survivors, just one of aviation's greatest mysteries. And as if that story wasn't strange enough, something even more unbelievable happened. A rescue aircraft was immediately sent to search for them. It never returned either. Within a single day, 6 aircraft and 27 people had vanished. The headlines spread across the world. People wanted answers, scientists searched for evidence, journalists searched for stories, and the Bermuda Triangle was suddenly born into modern legend. But here's something most people don't know. Flight 19 wasn't the first disappearance, and it certainly wasn't the last. Over the following decades, more ships vanished. More aircraft disappeared. Some were eventually found. Many were not. Each new incident added another layer to the mystery. Newspapers loved the story. Television made it even bigger. Soon, the Bermuda Triangle became more than a location. It became a symbol, a place where reality and imagination began to mix together. But here's the question almost nobody asked. Were all these disappearances actually connected, or were completely different accidents being placed into one giant mystery? That question would completely change the way scientists looked at the Bermuda Triangle. Because once researchers began studying every case, they discovered something surprising. Some stories had been exaggerated, some details had changed over time, and a few famous claims weren't entirely true. But that doesn't mean the mystery disappeared. In fact, the real explanation may be even more fascinating than the myths, because beneath these waters lies one of the most unpredictable environments on Earth. Powerful ocean currents, rapidly changing weather, massive underwater mountains, and natural forces can confuse even experienced pilots and sailors. The deeper scientists investigated, the stranger the Atlantic became. And perhaps the greatest mystery wasn't something supernatural at all. Perhaps nature itself was far more powerful than anyone had imagined. By the 1960s, the Bermuda Triangle had become one of the most talked about places on Earth. Every new disappearance made the mystery even bigger. But scientists decided to ask a simple question. What actually makes this part of the Atlantic so dangerous? The first answer was the weather. Most people imagine the Bermuda Triangle as a place with dark skies and giant storms, but that's not what makes it dangerous. The real danger is how quickly the weather can change. One moment the ocean is calm. The next, powerful thunderstorms appear almost out of nowhere. Winds suddenly become violent. Rain blocks visibility. Lightning fills the sky. For a pilot or a sailor, just a few minutes can mean the difference between survival and disaster. Then there's something else, the Gulf Stream. At first it sounds harmless. It's simply a warm ocean current. But don't let the name fool you. The Gulf Stream moves incredibly fast, sometimes faster than 5 miles per hour. That may not sound impressive until you remember the ocean never stops moving. If an aircraft crashes or a ship sinks, the Gulf Stream can carry debris hundreds of miles away. Imagine dropping a leaf into a fast-moving river. Would you ever find it again? Probably not. The Atlantic works the same way. Even today, search teams often struggle to recover wreckage, not because it isn't there, but because the ocean has already moved it somewhere else, sometimes far beyond the original search area. Now, imagine trying to solve a mystery when the evidence keeps disappearing. But weather and ocean currents weren't the only explanations. Scientists soon discovered another strange fact. The Bermuda Triangle sits above an area where Earth's magnetic field behaves slightly differently. Normally, a compass points toward magnetic north. Pilots know this, sailors know this, navigation systems are designed around it. But in certain parts of the Atlantic, true north and magnetic north line up differently than expected. Years ago, before modern GPS existed, this could easily confuse inexperienced navigators. A small mistake might not seem important, but over hundreds of miles of open ocean, a tiny error can send you completely off course. Imagine walking through a desert. You accidentally turn just 1 degree. At first you notice nothing, but after hours you're miles away from where you wanted to be. The ocean is exactly the same. There are no roads, no buildings, no mountains. Only water. Every direction looks identical. Now imagine your compass also begins acting strangely. Panic arrives quickly, and panic creates mistakes. But here's something interesting. Modern aircraft don't rely on compasses alone. They use satellites, GPS, multiple navigation systems, weather radar, and digital communication. And yet, even today, planes and ships still report strange moments inside the triangle. Not disappearances, but unusual experiences. Some pilots describe sudden instrument failures, others report strange clouds. A few even claim time seemed to behave differently. One pilot reported flying into what looked like a tunnel of clouds. Everything around him became white. His instruments briefly stopped responding. A few moments later, he flew out. Everything worked normally again. When he landed, he discovered something impossible. According to his watch, almost nothing unusual had happened. But according to other reports, he had reached his destination much earlier than expected. Did time actually change? Almost certainly not. Scientists believe there are several possible explanations. Weather, atmospheric pressure, human perception, or simple navigation errors. But stories like these continue feeding the legend. Then came one of the strangest theories of all: methane gas. Deep beneath parts of the Atlantic Ocean, scientists have discovered large deposits of frozen methane. Under certain conditions, this gas can escape rapidly from the ocean floor. When methane bubbles rise to the surface, They reduce the density of the water. In simple words, the water becomes less able to support heavy objects. Some researchers suggested that if a ship happened to pass directly above a massive methane release, it could lose buoyancy and sink much faster than expected. The theory sounds dramatic, but there's a problem. Scientists have found very little evidence that methane eruptions happen frequently enough or powerfully enough to explain the Bermuda Triangle. Interesting? Yes. Proven? Not even close. Then there are the theories that almost everyone has heard. Aliens, Atlantis, secret military experiments, interdimensional portals, and time warps. Some believe advanced alien technology lies beneath the ocean. Others think the lost city of Atlantis still exists, hidden under thousands of feet of water. They claim mysterious crystals or ancient technology interfere with electronics. It sounds exciting. It makes great movies. But despite decades of exploration, there's absolutely no scientific evidence supporting these claims. No alien spacecraft, no giant crystals, no hidden city controlling navigation systems. The ocean keeps its secrets, but not every mystery needs a supernatural answer. Sometimes nature alone is mysterious enough, and perhaps that's what makes the Bermuda Triangle so fascinating. The myths attract us, but the science is just as incredible. Because the deeper we explore our oceans, the more we realize how little we actually know about them. More than 80% of Earth's oceans remain unexplored. Think about that. We've mapped parts of Mars, we've photographed distant galaxies. We've sent spacecraft beyond our solar system. Yet most of our own ocean is still a mystery. Maybe that's why the Bermuda Triangle continues capturing our imagination. Not because it's magical, but because it reminds us that even on our own planet, there are still places that refuse to give up all their answers. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. After decades of investigations, researchers compared the Bermuda Triangle with other busy oceans around the world. What they discovered surprised almost everyone. The number of disappearances wasn't dramatically higher than in other heavily traveled regions. That doesn't mean accidents never happened. They absolutely did. But many experts believe the Bermuda Triangle became famous because every accident was connected to the same legend. The mystery grew faster than the evidence. Imagine two ships disappearing in completely different parts of the world. Most people would forget them. But if one disappears inside the Bermuda Triangle, it immediately becomes international news. The location changes everything. The human brain loves patterns. We naturally connect events even when they may not be connected at all. Psychologists call this confirmation bias. Once people believe a place is mysterious, every strange event seems to prove it. The ordinary stories disappear. The mysterious ones survive. And over time, the legend becomes bigger than reality itself. But that doesn't mean every mystery has been solved. Far from it. Even today, experienced pilots sometimes report unusual weather inside the triangle. Sailors still respect the Atlantic because no matter what you believe, the ocean never becomes predictable. The Atlantic is alive. It changes every hour. Winds shift, currents move. Storms appear without warning. Massive waves can rise from nowhere. Some are called rogue waves. For centuries, people believed rogue waves were nothing more than sailors' stories until satellites finally captured them. Some of these waves reach over 100 feet high. Imagine standing on the deck of a ship and seeing a wall of water taller than a 10-story building racing toward you. Even modern ships can struggle against forces like that. Nature doesn't need magic to become terrifying. Then there are microbursts, powerful columns of air that slam toward the ocean at incredible speeds. Pilots fear them, especially during takeoff or landing. A perfectly normal flight can suddenly encounter violent winds strong enough to change an aircraft's altitude within seconds. Again, nothing supernatural, just another reminder that Earth's atmosphere is far more complex than it appears. And perhaps that's the biggest lesson hidden inside the Bermuda Triangle. Sometimes the truth isn't less interesting than the myth. Sometimes it's even more incredible. We often imagine mystery as something supernatural, but reality has its own mysteries. We still know more about the surface of the moon than we know about large parts of our own ocean floor. Thousands of new marine species are discovered every single year. Scientists continue finding underwater volcanoes, ancient shipwrecks, entire mountain ranges, and ecosystems no human had ever seen before. The ocean remains one of Earth's last great frontiers. Maybe that's why the Bermuda Triangle refuses to disappear from popular culture, because it reminds us that curiosity never dies. every generation asks the same question: what really happened? And every generation searches for a different answer. Maybe one day technology will solve every disappearance. Maybe advanced underwater drones, artificial intelligence, and future satellites will reveal secrets hidden beneath the Atlantic for centuries. Or maybe some mysteries will always remain, not because they're impossible, but because nature doesn't reveal all its answers at once. Imagine standing in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle today. The sea is calm, the wind is gentle, the horizon stretches forever. Nothing looks unusual. No glowing lights beneath the water, no giant whirlpools. No invisible force field, just an endless ocean, quiet, beautiful, and completely indifferent to the stories humans tell about it. Perhaps that's the most unsettling part. The Bermuda Triangle doesn't look dangerous. It looks peaceful. And sometimes the most dangerous places are the ones that look completely normal. So, is the Bermuda Triangle truly an ocean grid where signals die? The honest answer is that we don't know everything. Science has explained many parts of the mystery. Changing weather, powerful currents, navigation errors, human mistakes, and magnetic variation all play important roles. But science also admits something important. Our oceans still hold countless unanswered questions, and until they're fully explored, curiosity will continue sailing across these waters. Maybe the greatest mystery was never about disappearing ships. Maybe it was about us, about our endless desire to search beyond the horizon, to ask impossible questions, and to chase answers even when the ocean refuses to speak. Because every mystery teaches us something. Sometimes it teaches us about the world. Sometimes it teaches us about ourselves. And perhaps that's why the Bermuda Triangle still captures our imagination after all these years. Not because it proves the impossible, but because it reminds us that humanity has always been drawn toward the unknown. If this documentary changed the way you think about the Bermuda Triangle, subscribe for more stories where history, science, and mystery collide. And before you leave, answer one question. Do you believe the Bermuda Triangle is finally understood, or is its biggest secret still waiting beneath the waves? Keep thinking, because the next mystery is already waiting.